everyone, Louis and I are back for another video. Oh, it's so cute. Kisses, kisses. I'm gonna put him on. Hasn't he got big? He's really got, oh great. Sorry about that. He's really got big and he's so cute. Let me put him down because he's gonna start wriggling in a minute. Okay, how is everyone? I hope you're all really well. I thought I want to talk about three things, like two things that are actually really big. One is to do with yet another data breach, only this time, this one's kind of quite shady, not even shady, this one's actually very dangerous, potentially, if you're one of the people that has been caught up in it. Also going to talk about the Hermes lawsuit that came out last year. So you may remember there were 3 plaintiffs in the US who took Hermes to court about the ability to purchase a Birkin bag, and they took them to court and said that it went against antitrust laws in the US. So we're going to go through that because Hermes have won. They've won the case. So we're going to talk about that. And I also want to talk to you about the Hermes sale that took place in London last week and whether I went or not. Because a lot of you were asking me about that. So I'll start with that one before we get onto the more like gritty stuff. The Hermes sale. So I got the invite a little while ago and I booked to go last Wednesday. And my time slot, so you had to pick a time slot, and the only time slot available on that Wednesday was, I think it was like 11 till 1 or something. And it was a very last minute decision, but I decided not to go. And I decided not to go because I was really worried, although it turned out I was unduly worried, but I was really worried that it was some sort of scam. And I was just worried for my safety, really, because it was up in it was at Alexandra Palace, which is in North London. And I don't know the area, but it would have taken quite a long time to get there out of central London. It wasn't close in central London, really. I didn't know the area. And I just thought, what if I get there and it's some sort of like heist or something? And because I did have some of you DM me, and you did say that you also got the invite, but what I thought was weird is no one wanted to confirm to me that it was Alexandra Palace. No one that I spoke to said, yeah, you're right, it's Alexandra Palace. So it's not to say that I didn't believe you. I did believe you. I was just like, I don't want to go somewhere and it's not what I think it is. So I didn't go. And also, another, I won't name her, but another influencer that I'm friends with was due to go the day after me. She also didn't go for her own reasons. It was also it being quite far away from where we both are. So she also didn't go, but I feel like I have FOMO because I have seen reels and YouTube videos of some of the people I follow who went to it. And some people have got some absolute gold, albeit they haven't bought anything that I've looked at and gone, I would buy that. You know, it's not my personal style or what have you. But nonetheless, they found things there that were really nice, like really nice ready to wear. So there's this lovely lady that I follow called Amaya, and she went. And I was looking at her Instagram. Amaya, if you're watching, I saw your Instagram and I was like, you got some absolutely amazing things. She got a really nice piece of knitwear, some scarves, some memory, 2 pairs of shoes, really nice things. And Amaya, you were the reason why I did get FOMO. I thought, have I made an error of judgment here? But as I say, I was just nervous on the day, and if I could have gone with David, I would have gone, but because we got the puppy now and David needed to stay home and look after him, because we wouldn't have been able to leave him out that long on his own. He'd scream the place down. Because I was going on my own, I just kind of was a bit nervous. So no, I didn't go. And if I get invited again, I probably will go now that I know it's for real. But at the same time, I'm trying to make myself feel better by thinking, Sophie, there's every chance, there's nothing I need or want right now, and there's every chance I'd have gone. And you know what it's like, just because it's in the sale doesn't mean you need or want it. And you can end up buying loads of bits and pieces and never really using them, and probably that would have been me. So that's that story there. No, I didn't go. Now I want to talk about this data breach. Some of you may remember, I think it was at the end of 2024, but there was a data breach with Dior, and that one actually scared me quite a lot. I tell you why. This data breach happened with Dior, and some of you might remember what happened, but essentially they got hacked, and I don't know whether there was ransomware involved. I'm sure there probably was, but a letter got sent round. Well, first of all, an email got sent round, basically warning anyone who got the email was affected. And I got the email, just like millions of other people globally. So I get this email and it's basically saying, we've been hacked and your details have been taken. Oh, but don't worry, your payment details haven't been taken. I'm like, really? Do I really believe that? I don't know. I mean, I've got no proof of that, but if I ran one of these big companies, you know, it's scary enough for people that you've lost their data. Do you really want to admit to them that your credit card details have gone as well? So anyway, I get this email and it freaked me out, and it just said, look, you need to protect yourself from now on. They've got your name, they've got your home address, they've got your phone number, they've got your spend history, they've got everything they need. And then a friend of mine who had forgotten, because she's not like a big Dior customer, but she's bought like a few bits from there, but a long time ago. She said to me, Sophie, I actually got a letter in the post from Dior, and it came from France or Belgium or something. And she said it was addressed to her, and she opens it, and it was the same wording that was in that email, only in postal format. And then guess what? What basically happened is a letter arrived for me at my parents' house, addressed to me at my parents' house, saying, and it was the same letter. And I was like, oh my God, like years and years and years and years and years ago, I'm talking like 15, 20 years ago, I lived at home. So I was using, well, like 20 years ago, I was using my parents' address when I was buying like a lipstick or something. So I thought to myself, wow, you know, how much data have they got on all of us? You know, if you've ever moved house, the chances are your details, if you shopped with Dior, may have been taken at all of the addresses you've ever lived at. You just don't know. I don't know how this happened. Anyway, so I got that letter, and yeah, it freaked me out. But what can you do? That really, there's nothing you can really do. But here's what is new that's happened. Gucci, Balenciaga and McQueen, so all owned by the Kering group, they have had private data ransomed by hackers. This actually happened back in April. And what really frustrates me with these companies, and it's all of them, it's not any one, is that they get hacked and they leave it as long as possible before they have to disclose it, by which point stuff could have happened to you. And that's the thing that frustrates me the most. And I don't know whether you feel the same way. As soon as you hear you've been hacked, it's like, yeah, that happened 6 months ago, you know, basically. But here's the information the hackers have got. They've got names, addresses, phone numbers, and total spend. And it's estimated that they have 7.4 million email addresses. So that's around 7 million people globally who have been affected by this. That's massive. Now, the group behind the Kering hacking is called Shiny Hunters. The BBC contacted them through Telegram, through a chat on Telegram, and Shiny Hunters confirmed they were behind it. They also gave a sample of the data that they'd stolen to the BBC as like evidence of, do you know what, this is what we've got. And the BBC have said, I'll link to the article below, but the BBC have said that some people in that data scrape had basically spent £10,000 plus in like one transaction. These are really, really high spend people. And then apparently, in addition to that, Shiny Hunters, the hackers, said that they contacted Kering back in June demanding payment in Bitcoin, But Kering have denied that. And Kering have also said, we're not paying any ransom anyway. Now, I will say, if I owned a company and this was unfortunate enough to happen to me, even though I would like to think that I'd be a lot more tight when it comes to cybersecurity. See, this is another thing. I don't want to say too much, but I've worked with some companies before and they'll like sack off their IT department because they don't think it's important until something like this happens. Until something like this happens, and then suddenly it's panic stations. But by that point, it's too late. And as a customer, it's a very vulnerable situation to be in. Whenever you go into a store and you know, like these big designer brands, they want your detail. It's like, I just want to buy this pair of shoes. I don't want to give you my details. I don't want you to register me on your system. I just want to buy the shoes. I don't want to register my details with you and then you lose them. And I didn't realise this either, but when I was reading this BBC article, which again I will link to below, there are claims in this article that back in April, Louis Vuitton and Cartier were also affected by data breaches. I don't know whether the data was actually taken or whether it was just attempted. But how many of these companies admit to it? You know, when you have to go and read some like news outlet to find out that your details have possibly been gotten. So what can you do about it? First of all, I need to tell you something that happened very recently to a friend of mine. I took a call from a friend of mine one morning and she was panicking, like really panicking to me. And she had answered a call that she didn't know the number. And I was like, immediately, she was like, I answered the phone. I didn't know who the number was. I was like, why did you answer the phone? Long story short, it was a hacker pretending to be from her bank, and they had got the bank right. You know, a lot of the time you answer the phone, it's a hacker or a spammer or a, you know, con man, a crook. And normally they say, oh, do you bank with so-and-so? And you're like, no, I don't. I already know that you're not for real. But this person knew. This scariest thing, this person knew my friend's email address associated with her online banking. They knew her password for her online banking. And the reason why, and they obviously had her phone number. The reason why they had called her is because they were trying to log into online banking and she's got two-factor authentication turned on. So a code was being sent to her phone. And this hacker, who was pretending to be from the bank, claiming, oh, a fraudulent payment's going through and we need to stop it, said, right, a pin's going to come to you now. And can you just read that pin off for me? And that was the point when my friend was like, oh my God, this person's trying to log into my bank. I just wanted to come on here and actually say something that I forgot to say in this video because I'm editing it now. The hacker knew my friend's debit card number, the full number, including the last 3 digits on the back of the card. She does not carry that card out with her. She's got her card on her iPhone, like, you know how you have it in your wallet on your phone. She doesn't take it anywhere, and she only uses her credit card to pay for things. The debit card stays at home. She does not know, she doesn't use that card to pay for things, right? She does not know how it could be that this person knew such information. I don't even know how they had this sort of information. And also, when she sort of smelt a rat with this person and called them out on it, this person's accent changed. So initially she said the accent was very Surrey sounding, quite well spoken, etc. She said like that. As soon as she called them out, it turned into a very heavy, thick London accent, and they turned highly aggressive with her on the phone, saying they were going to take out credit cards and loans in her details. So she was like, actually, no, like, who are you? This person on the phone, the hacker, turned nasty. She was literally panicking to me when she spoke to me. This person knew her home address, knew her full name, her date of birth, and all of her social media handles. This person was like, you're on X, this is your hand, and her handles got nothing to do with her name. They knew her Instagram, which is private. And it scared me on her behalf. And one thing I found out a while ago is, guys, you know when you get these phone numbers that call you and they're scammers? Apparently, one of the things that these scammers do is one of the first port of call, like first base for a scammer, is to work out whether your phone number is legit, whether there's a person on the end of it. If you answer the phone and if you in any way confirm to them that their name they have for you is correct and it's you, tick in the box. And immediately they will in turn sell your details to other scammers. So again, you will end up having more and more and more phone calls coming through to you. Every time you confirm a piece of information that they have on you, even by just answering the phone, it's a tick in the box for that person's, that piece of information that they have on you. Even if you didn't get to the bit because you hung up where you didn't confirm your home address, the fact is they know that you are whoever and that is your phone number, and they will sell you to the next person down the road. So number one thing is, guys, please don't answer your phone. If you don't know the number, don't answer the phone. If it's important, they will leave you a message. Now, the other thing, I would show you it, but I'm filming on my phone. Guys, there is a new feature on iOS 26 on the iPhone, and it's brilliant. Basically, if you go into your phone settings, scroll down to apps, then scroll down to phone. If you scroll down further on the following page, there is a section that lets you decide what you do with people that phone you from numbers you don't know. You can either silence those numbers and have them go straight to voicemail, or you can have them blocked and the person on the other end has to give like a brief description of what the call is about before the iPhone will let the call go through. Or you can just have it as normal where anyone can call you. I personally have set mine up accordingly. I don't want to hear from these people. If it's someone important to me, they will leave a message and I will get back to them. So I definitely say that, and just try and be aware, you know, of everything going on. Just don't answer the phone. Now moving on to Hermes and a little bit of news around this brand. Some of you may remember last year, I think it was 2024, last year was a blur, but 2024, 3 plaintiffs in the States, actually in California, took Hermes to court, and they took them to court under antitrust laws in the States. And from what I understand, let me know if I'm correct or incorrect here, for any of you guys who live in the US, but I understand that this particular law they took Hermes to court over is a law that only exists in the state of California. I think, let me know if that is correct or incorrect. But one way or another, what these 3 plaintiffs said, and I've written it down, they have said that Hermes, there, but everywhere really, have turned the ability to buy a Birkin into a lottery system. And they have claimed that under antitrust laws, which basically means you tie a customer to buy like a bunch of things in order to potentially qualify for something else that they've still got to pay for, it's not free. But you know, you might get offered a Birkin if you buy lots of ancillary products. Those might be silk scarves, they could be dinner service sets, shoes, you know, all these little bits and pieces. I call it designer toot. You know, all those little things, they're cute, but you know, you only need so many twilly scarves, you know. Or maybe you don't, maybe you're a collector of them. But they made all of these claims, took them to court, and at one point it looked like the plaintiffs were gonna win. And I was like, what's this going to mean for Hermes? Because if Hermes were forced to sell Birkins in the States to anyone at that point and they had their arm twisted on it, surely Hermes would just pull out of the States, because I know they don't admit that this is a thing, but everyone kind of knows it is a thing, that you have to have a journey to qualify for things, unless you get very lucky and you have a salesperson that likes you. But that's their practice. That's their DNA, as I see it with Hermes. It's in their blood. to work like this. So if they were forced to sell to anyone, it made me question whether they'd even stay in the States. I mean, obviously they would, because there's a big market there, a huge market there, but you'd have people flying there from all over the world just to get a Birkin because they knew they could. So here is what the judge has said. It may be, as the plaintiff suggests, that Hermes reserves the Birkin for its highest paying customers, but that in itself is not an antitrust violation. So Hermes defended themselves on this one. They've obviously got a lot of money and can spend money on lawyers, and although it looked at one point like the plaintiffs were going to win, I would have been surprised if they did, just because Hermes have got so much money that they can keep throwing at lawyers on this one until they get the answer that they want. So yeah, Hermes win. They do not have to sell their Birkins to anyone who they don't want to. They can continue their practice. And that's what's going on there. Let me know what you think. Have you been impacted by the data breach? As I say, I'd like to know from you, and I really hope for any of you watching that you haven't been impacted. Kering claim that they've told everyone that's been impacted, but I mean, I haven't heard anything, so I don't know whether it would affect me or not, or whether they're just saying they've told everyone when actually they possibly haven't. I'm not sure. Hopefully I haven't been impacted. Dior was enough for me. But yeah, let me know. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.